Welcome back to the channel Rare Coins All World, coin collectors and curious treasure hunters. Today, we have an extraordinary coin to talk about, a coin that might be lurking in your collection, worth far more than its face value. I'm talking about the United States half-dollar coin from 1972. You might think of it as just another half-dollar, but wait, this coin holds a story of rarity, unexpected value, and fascinating history that you absolutely need to hear about. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, this is a coin you don't want to miss. Now, at first glance, the 1972 half-dollar might not seem that remarkable. After all, the half-dollar is a coin that's been around for quite a while, and in 1972, it was still circulating in everyday transactions. The coin features the classic design of John F. Kennedy, with his iconic portrait on the obverse. But there's so much more to this coin than what meets the eye. Today, we're diving deep into what makes this coin special, its unique characteristics, and just why it could be worth a small fortune. Let's start by taking a look at the design of the 1972 half-dollar. The Kennedy half-dollar was first introduced in 1964, just months after President John F. Kennedy's assassination, as a tribute to the fallen leader. The design on the obverse of the coin features a profile of Kennedy, created by Gilroy Roberts, the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint at the time. His likeness is striking, capturing Kennedy's youthful determination and the promise he symbolized for the nation. On the reverse side, you'll find the Great Seal of the United States, with an eagle clutching an olive branch and arrows, flanked by the words, United States of America, and E Pluribus Unum. The half-dollar denomination is also inscribed on the reverse, along with the word half-dollar, denoting its face value. But, if you're thinking that this coin is just another Kennedy half-dollar in circulation, think again. While this coin was minted in large quantities during 1972, there are certain factors that make it particularly valuable today. The key to its rarity and value lies in a little-known phenomenon, the 1972 double die obverse. What does that mean? Well, let me explain that. In the world of coin collecting, an error coin can significantly increase the value of a coin. A double die is a type of minting error that occurs when the die used to strike the coin doesn't align properly, causing the design to appear doubled. This creates a noticeable flaw where the features of the coin, such as the letters, numbers, and even parts of the portrait, appear doubled or misaligned. In 1972, a small number of Kennedy half-dollars were struck with this double die error, and they have since become incredibly sought after by collectors. The most notable feature of the 1972 double die obverse is the doubling of the date and the word Liberty along the edge of the coin. If you've ever seen a 1972 half-dollar with this error, you'll know it immediately. There's a distinct, almost ghostly, shadow of the date and the word Liberty that makes it stand out from a standard 1972 coin. So, why does this matter? Well, the 1972 double die obverse is extremely rare, and coins with this error are highly desirable. Collectors who specialize in error coins often seek out these rare varieties to complete their collections, and the value of these double die coins has skyrocketed over time. Now, let's talk about condition, because, just like any other rare coin, the condition of your 1972 half-dollar is crucial in determining its value. Coins that are in mint state or proof condition, meaning they have little to no wear or damage, are far more valuable than coins that have been heavily circulated. The more pristine the coin, the higher the price it can fetch at auction. This is especially true for coins with the double die error. Coins that are in excellent condition, with sharp details and no signs of wear, can demand a significant premium. In fact, a 1972 double die half-dollar in mint state condition could be worth a small fortune, and as time passes, its value only continues to increase. This is why it's so important to inspect your coins closely and make sure you're not overlooking any potential treasure. If you found a 1972 half-dollar with the double die obverse error, you might be sitting on something incredibly valuable. But, what exactly can you expect in terms of value? Well, the value of the 1972 double die obverse varies depending on its condition and whether it's been professionally graded. However, in excellent condition, particularly if it has been graded MS-65 or higher, it could be worth up to $95,000. That's right, $95,000. For a coin that once circulated in everyday transactions, this is a jaw-dropping amount of money. And the best part is, if you have one of these rare error coins tucked away in your collection, it could be your ticket to a major payday. To put it into perspective, most regular 1972 half dollars in good condition are worth just a few dollars, but the double die variety, especially if it's in mint condition, is an absolute game changer. If you happen to find one of these rare error coins, make sure to have it professionally graded by a trusted grading service like PCGS or NGC. The value could go through the roof, depending on the grade and the market demand at the time. So, if you've got a 1972 half dollar in your collection, don't just toss it aside. Take a moment to inspect it carefully. Look for the double die error. If you spot the double date or the doubling on the word liberty, you could be holding one of the most valuable coins in American history. Today, we're uncovering the story of a coin that may look ordinary at first glance but holds extraordinary value. We're diving deep into the 1992 half dollar, a coin that could be sitting in your collection right now, waiting to surprise you with its hidden worth. Now, when most people think about half-dollar coins, they probably imagine a piece of currency that's no longer in circulation, just collecting dust in drawers or coin jars. The 1992 half dollar, though, is anything but ordinary. It's a coin that's generated quite a buzz in the world of numismatics, and for good reason. Whether you're an experienced collector or a beginner just starting to explore the world of rare coins, you'll want to stick around to learn exactly what makes this coin so special and why it could be worth far more than you ever imagined. At first glance, the 1992 half dollar might appear to be just another Kennedy half dollar, which, if you don't know, has been in circulation since 1964, commemorating the late President John F. Kennedy. The 1992 half dollar is no exception, and like other coins from the series, it features Kennedy's profile on the obverse side. This image, created by Gilroy Roberts, remains one of the most iconic and widely recognized depictions of any U.S. president on a coin. The reverse side, on the other hand, showcases the Great Seal of the United States, which is a symbol of strength, resilience, and unity. The eagle, clutching an olive branch and arrows, serves as a reminder of the country's commitment to peace and defense. The words United States of America and E pluribus unum are inscribed around the edge of the coin, solidifying its place in American history. But what sets the 1992 half dollar apart from other coins in the series is something that most people overlook: the minting errors and specific characteristics that make certain 1992 half dollars highly collectible. While the coin itself was struck in relatively large numbers, certain flaws in the minting process gave rise to some extremely rare and valuable coins, making it a sought-after piece for serious collectors. One of the most notable errors in the 1992 half dollar is the wide AM variety. This refers to the spacing between the letters A and M in America on the reverse of the coin. While this might sound like a small detail, it's a crucial one for coin collectors. In the standard 1992 half dollar, the A and M are closer together, but in the wide AM variety, they are noticeably farther apart. This simple difference, caused by a minting error, makes the coin highly desirable for numismatists who specialize in varieties and errors. Coins with the wide AM variety are exceptionally rare, and finding one in excellent condition can lead to a significant boost in value. Collectors are constantly on the lookout for these special pieces, and they're willing to pay top dollar for one in pristine shape. The value of this error coin is amplified by the fact that it's not something that's easy to find. If you're wondering how to spot a 1992 half dollar with the wide AM error, the easiest way is to closely examine the letters of America on the reverse side. If you can see a noticeable gap between the A and the M, then you've likely got a wide AM coin. This subtle variation is what makes the coin so special, and it's the primary reason that some 1992 half dollars are worth far more than others. Now, let's talk about condition. As with any rare coin, the state of preservation plays a massive role in determining its market value. Coins that have been well preserved, meaning they've been stored carefully and haven't experienced wear or heavy circulation, are much more valuable than those that show signs of use. If you happen to find a 1992 half dollar in mint state, meaning it has no scratches, dents, or discoloration, it can easily fetch a higher price at auction or among collectors. The key to a mint state coin is that the details of the design are still sharp and clear, and there are no visible flaws or damage. If your 1992 half dollar with the wide AM error is in pristine condition, it could be worth significantly more than its face value of 50 cents. And trust me, these coins are highly sought after in the world of numismatics. Now, let's get to the good part, the value of the 1992 half dollar, especially if it's the wide AM variety in excellent condition. Coins like these have been known to fetch eye-popping prices at auctions, with prices climbing steadily over the years as the demand for rare coins continues to grow. While the value of any particular coin can fluctuate based on market conditions and collector interest, one thing is for sure, this coin is worth a lot more than what you might think. If you happen to find a 1992 half dollar with the wide AM error and it's in exceptional condition, you could be looking at a value of $87,000, yes, that's right, $87,000 for a single coin. This is a huge return on an investment that started as just a 50-cent piece. The 1992 half dollar with the wide AM error is one of the most valuable coins in modern American currency, and it's becoming rarer to find as time goes on. With only a limited number of these coins in circulation, especially those in good condition, their value continues to rise. So, if you've got a 1992 half dollar lying around in your collection or in a drawer somewhere, make sure to check it closely. Look for the wide AM error, and if it's in good shape, you could be holding on to a piece of American history worth tens of thousands of dollars. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of one of the most iconic and historically significant coins in U.S. history, the United States half dollar, minted in 1776 to 1976. This coin marks a special chapter in American history, commemorating the 200th anniversary of the United States and the incredible journey that the country had taken up to that point. But here's the twist, this seemingly commemorative coin might just be worth far more than you'd expect, especially if you know the right details. At first glance, you might think the 1776 to 1976 half dollar is just another modern commemorative coin, struck to celebrate America's bicentennial. After all, millions of these coins were produced, and they were even widely circulated, appearing in pockets, cash registers, and change jars across the country. But this is where the story gets really interesting, and if you've ever wondered whether your old bicentennial half dollar could be worth anything, stick with me, because the answer might surprise you. Before we dive into the coin's value, let's take a step back and explore the significance of this particular coin. The 1776 to 1976 half dollar was issued by the U.S. Mint to celebrate the 200th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. This was an incredibly momentous occasion in American history, and the coin was designed to honor the legacy of the revolutionaries who fought for the country's independence and the formation of the United States. The obverse side of the coin features the portrait of President John F. Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts, who also designed the Kennedy half dollar. This portrait of Kennedy, introduced in 1964 after his tragic assassination, became one of the most recognizable and revered depictions of any U.S. president on coinage. The reverse side, however, is what makes the 1776 to 1976 half dollar unique. The design for this side was created by Jack L. Ahr, and it features a drummer boy, symbolizing the country's revolutionary origins, standing in front of the Liberty Bell. Now, the key element that makes the 1776 to 1976 half dollar particularly interesting for collectors is the fact that it was produced in two different versions: the regular proof and the special bicentennial edition, which included both copper-nickel clad coins and some special 40% silver versions for collectors. But here's where the intrigue begins. While many of these coins were produced and circulated, a few subtle variations, mint errors, and rare finds make some of them incredibly valuable today. Some collectors are especially interested in coins that exhibit unique features or those that show off minting flaws. So, let's talk about some of the reasons the 1776 to 1976 half dollar could fetch big bucks in the market. One of the most coveted versions of this coin is the 40% silver version, which was made specifically for collectors and wasn't released into general circulation. These silver coins are not only rare, but they also hold the allure of their precious metal content. Their intrinsic silver value already adds to their worth, but it's the limited number that makes them even more desirable. However, even beyond the silver versions, there are specific characteristics that make certain 1776 to 1976 half dollars more valuable. For example, some coins have unusual characteristics like misstrikes, doubling errors, or off-center strikes. These types of errors are incredibly sought after by collectors, who are always on the lookout for those rare flaws that can make a coin more unique and historically significant. Another feature to consider is the condition of the coin. As with any rare collectible, the state of the coin, whether it's been preserved well or heavily circulated, plays a crucial role in determining its value. A coin that has been kept in pristine condition, with sharp details and little to no wear, is worth exponentially more than one that shows signs of heavy circulation. In fact, coins that have been well preserved, such as those in uncirculated or proof condition, can fetch a significant premium over their regular counterparts. Now, let's get to the exciting part, the value of the 1776 to 1976 half-dollar. Although millions of these coins were minted, certain variations and specific features can drive their price to incredible heights. The value of the 1776 to 1976 half-dollar largely depends on the condition, the type of coin, whether it's a 40% silver version or the regular copper-nickel clad variety, and whether there are any unique features such as mint errors. If you happen to have a 40% silver version in mint state, especially one that's in unblemished condition and free of circulation wear, you could be looking at a coin worth a solid amount of money. But the real prize in the 1776 to 1976 half-dollar series is the rare examples that show signs of minting errors, unusual strikes, or those with the unique silver content that sets them apart from the rest. And here comes the surprise: if you've got a pristine, rare, or error version of the 1776 to 1976 half-dollar, the value could go through the roof. In fact, the top-tier examples have been known to fetch prices as high as $107,000. Yes, you heard that right, $107,000. That's the potential value of a rare, error-filled, or exceptionally well-preserved 1776 to 1976 half-dollar in the market today. This price isn't just for any coin, it's for the rare, sought-after versions that collectors dream about finding in their collections. The Drummer Boy reverse design, along with the silver content, makes this coin a collector's gem, and when paired with the rarity of certain minting errors or near-perfect condition, the price can skyrocket. So, what does this mean for you as a collector? It's time to dig through your old coin jars, boxes, or drawers and take another look at your 1776 to 1976 half-dollars. If you have any coins in exceptional condition, or if you happen to spot a minting error or a rare variation, don't just assume they're worth face value. These coins could be worth a lot more than you think. Today, in this video, we're diving into the details of one of the most intriguing and valuable coins of the 20th century, the United States half-dollar from 1971. This seemingly unassuming coin might just be sitting in your collection or your pocket, and it could be worth much more than you think. So, stick around as we explore everything you need to know about the 1971 half-dollar and why it could be worth a small fortune. When you think about the 1971 half-dollar, the first thing that probably comes to mind is the image of President John F. Kennedy. Introduced in 1964 after the assassination of JFK, the Kennedy half-dollar quickly became a piece of history and an iconic coin. The 1971 half-dollar is no exception, continuing the legacy of Kennedy on the obverse side. But it's the intricate details and the fascinating history behind this coin that make it a must-know for any collector. The obverse side of the coin features the well-known portrait of John F. Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts. The clean lines and detail in Kennedy's profile make it one of the most recognizable designs in American coinage. The inscription, Liberty, arcs across the top, while, In God We Trust, is inscribed to the left of Kennedy's head. Beneath his image is the year of minting, 1971, which is crucial to the coin's significance. Flipping the coin over, we see the reverse side, which features the familiar Great Seal of the United States. An eagle, clutching an olive branch and arrows, symbolizes both peace and defense, embodying the strength and unity of the country. Above the eagle, the inscription, United States of America, is featured, while E pluribus unum, meaning, out of many, one, is displayed on the banner carried by the eagle. The reverse design may not seem as flashy as the obverse, but it carries deep symbolism and a connection to the very core of American ideals. but what really makes the 1971 half-dollar so special and valuable lies in the coin's mintage and condition. Now, many people might overlook this coin simply because it was produced in relatively high quantities. Over 130 million of these coins were struck, which, on the surface, might seem like they'd be just another piece of everyday change. But here's where things get interesting. Even though the 1971 half-dollar was produced in large numbers, the value of this coin is tied to some key factors that set it apart from other coins. For one, the 1971 half-dollar marks a time in U.S. coinage when there was a transition in the production process. The coin's composition was changed in the 1960s, with the mint shifting from 90% silver to a copper-nickel-clad alloy. This was a significant shift that marked the end of an era for silver coins in the U.S. This fact alone makes the 1971 half-dollar more significant than it might appear at first glance. Now, let's talk about the rarity of the 1971 half-dollar. While millions were minted, certain coins stand out due to minting errors or their exceptional condition. In particular, coins with specific minting errors, such as double die errors or off-center strikes, can make the coin extremely valuable. These errors are the result of mistakes made during the minting process, but to collectors, they're like hidden treasures, making them highly sought after. For example, double die errors occur when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned, causing the image to appear doubled or blurry. These errors are not common, and when they do occur, the coins can demand much higher prices than their face value. If you happen to have a 1971 half-dollar with a double die error, then you could be holding onto a coin worth far more than the usual price. In addition to minting errors, condition plays a huge role in determining the value of the 1971 half-dollar. Coins that have been well preserved, uncirculated, or graded as MS, mint state, are significantly more valuable than those that have been heavily circulated. When a coin has been kept in pristine condition, the sharpness of the details and the lack of wear and tear can make it a prized possession for collectors. And here's the big reveal: the true value of a 1971 half-dollar lies in those rare, exceptional specimens that showcase either minting errors or remarkable condition. A well-preserved, error-free coin, particularly one with a double die error or off-center strike, could be worth much more than its original face value. To put this in perspective, a mint state, error-free 1971 half-dollar could be worth as much as $82,000. That's right, $82,000 for a coin that was originally worth just 50 cents. When you think about it, that's a pretty impressive return on investment. So, if you have any 1971 half-dollars lying around in your coin collection, now's the time to take a closer look. Check for those telltale signs of minting errors, such as a doubled image or off-center strikes. Inspect the condition of your coins carefully. If they're in excellent shape, they could be worth a lot more than you initially thought. And if you're lucky enough to have one of these rare specimens, you could be holding onto a coin that's worth a fortune. To wrap things up, the 1971 half-dollar is far more than just a piece of history. It's a reminder that even the most common coins can hold tremendous value. Whether it's due to a rare minting error, exceptional condition, or simply because it's part of the Kennedy series, this coin has captured the attention of collectors for decades. And for those with an eye for rare finds, the 1971 half-dollar could be worth a small fortune.